Jews complained about Jesus because of what he said. I'm the bread that came down from heaven, the second person of the Godhead. Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he says, I have come down from heaven, even 30 years ago? Jesus answered and said to them, do not murmur among yourselves. No one can come to me unless the Father draws him to himself. And I will raise him up at the last, as it is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught by God, which is the stated promise. Everyone who has heard and learned from the Father comes to me. Not that anyone has seen the Father except he who is from God. Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me has everlasting life. I am the bread of life which comes from heaven. The one may eat of it and not die. They quarreled among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son and drink of his blood, you have not life. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. My flesh is food indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him. This is the bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers ate manna. These things he said in the synagogue, as he taught them in Capernaum. Of his disciples said, this is a hard saying. Jesus knew within himself that his disciples complained about this. What if you should see the Son of Man ascend where he was before? The Spirit gives life, the flesh profits nothing. Without me there is just a closed door. The words which I speak to you are spirit and they are life. But there are some of you who do not believe. Jesus knew from the beginning who wouldn't believe, but who would betray. Therefore no one can come to me. It's been granted by the Father as today. From that time, many disciples went back and walked with him no more. Jesus said to the 12, do you also want to go away? Simon Peter answered and said, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We've come to believe that you are the Christ,